There we have two key products. The one in front of me right now is our little 7.4 kilowatt. Now, it's a horizontally installed unit and it has access through there. So we have a 22 kilowatt. Now this one is called the X1. The other one, which I'll show you shortly, is the X2. So let's have a look at this X1. Now, I am going to do a little bit of scoping to the laptop so I can give you the real data. First of all, let's look at the size. It's a small, convenient size. It's nice and light, so it has mounting on the back, so it's easily mounted, but we'll go through that shortly. But it's horizontal. You'll see here and here, we have our indicator, so that's our flashing light, which does various colors, and we have our operational indicator right here. So, size, 200 by 130 by 118. Okay, so it's nice and compact size. Our operating temperatures, -30 to +50. So these won't go up in a ceiling, they're going to be in your garage because you actually have to plug your lead into it. Our weight, it's a simple 1.15 kilos. It's not heavy at all. So our charging power, 7.4 kilowatts. Now, 7.4 kilowatts, I can wind that back. So if I want to do a little bit of controlling, if I want to stay on a 20 amp circuit, I don't want to put a 32 amp circuit in, we have a way to actually manage that. So we'll look at that shortly. Type 2 cable. Now, this unit does not come with a Type 2 cable, so you need to purchase that separately. Okay, so our voltage is 230 volts. This is a single phase unit. Now, please be aware, 7.4 kilowatts is single phase. If we go to an 11 kilowatt or a 22 kilowatt, we're going to be looking at three phase. Okay, so you need to know your infrastructure at home is capable of one or the other. All right, so standard 60 hertz. This one here is app ready. So it has 2.4 gigahertz. It is 5 gigahertz Bluetooth 5.2. Okay, so it's app ready. Now with the app, it's purely a monitoring app. So it's just going to monitor the process, see how much charge it's putting out and things like that. This is an instant start, instant stop. So when I put my charger in and I plug it into my car, it will commence. Okay, now if you've got your electric vehicle, you can actually have the app of your electric vehicle to control the charger on your electric vehicle. Okay, so you can monitor it through there. If you have the Tuya app, you can actually see what's going on with this. Okay, you can't stop it or start it, you still have to do that through the plug. It will turn itself off once your car is charged sufficiently. Okay, because your charger in your car dictates to the actual EV charger when it's had enough. All right, so we have lots of protection, and there's something I'll go through shortly which is a little bit confusing, but let's move through. So remember, X1, 7 kilowatts or 7.4 kilowatts. So next one is, I want to show you the components. So we have these two screws on the side here. All right, so I'm going to remove those two screws. In the box, it comes your little Torx, security Torx. Simply unwind those two screws. There's one. Right, so now I just lift the lid up. Right, so that's the lid. Okay, now what I was talking about before is, you see here, this is where our mains cable comes in. Can either come in through the base or we've got access through the side. Once we come through the base, we've got a cable way which comes through here. Up, we have a cable clamp just here, and then we've got our terminals here which are all lift up and lock in. Now they are marked active, neutral and earth, so just make sure you lock them in nice and tight. All right, so then you'll see this little dial here. We'll explain that little dial shortly. But you're looking now and going, well, how do I mount it to the wall? I can see all the questions coming. So by removing that bottom screw, what I've done is I've allowed myself to push this forward. It says lock and unlock on there. So by pushing it forward, I've been able to release it. Now, I have the base. So you can see my access hole here, and if you can zoom in at all, you can see there's an access hole here. All right, so I can come in from the side, which puts me straight away into this cableway and then straight up to my terminals, okay? Or I can come in through the back and again it's straight up into the same cableway. Now, nice and easy to mount. There's 4 holes already for you there to actually mount that to the wall, and you've just got to remember which way's up and down, because you've got to remember you have an opening here which allows you to actually control it. So you need to make sure when you mount this, you do mount it the right way, because remember where your access holes are. All right, so I've now mounted my box on the wall. I need to install this again. I simply check them up the right way, put it into the bottom, slide it forward, and then it locks in. All right, so now that's in and nice and secure, I can now put my top back on after I've wired it. So I'm just going to leave that out for a minute because I want all 3 parts here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have a look at, by the way, with this base, you get a nice little box of a bag of goodies. Okay, so you get some raw plugs to plug into the wall, you get the screws, and you also get the cable clamp to actually lock your cables in on the actual device as well. The next thing is circuit protection. The one thing we have, the residual direct current detective device, the RDCDD. Okay, what that is, that's a residual current device. Now in all SEVR products it's built into the device, which means you don't need the type B circuit breaker, RCBO, you can actually go to the normal type A. So, but what it means is, any DC leakage that comes back from the car into the system cannot get past the EV charger and go into the grid and affect all your solar and things like that. It stops right here. And if it's sufficient, it will actually open circuit within here, and it's a resettable product, so you power it down at the switchboard, power it back up, and it'll reset. If it keeps happening, there could be a fault with your car, or there could be something. You will get indicator lights, which I'll show you shortly, that will tell you exactly what's going on. So, just remember, this is 32 amps. Now, I need you to, depending on what state you're in, there is service installation rules that you must comply to. Okay, so when you are installing one of these, and this is where the SEVR product is really good with this little dial here, it means that if I'm only allowed to have 20 amps, or if I want 32, I have to go onto a control load with a tariff or something like that, I have the dial to dial it down to just 20 amps. So that's something to remember, because that is something really important, and you need to do that homework as a contractor. All right, now when we were talking RDCDD before, people get confused with that being an RCD. Okay, 2 very, very different things. One is a residual current device, which is on the 240 volt side leading into your device or to your EV charger. The other one is built in, or if it's not built into the device or into your EV charger, it ends up being a type B RCBO in your switchboard. All right, so there's just a couple of quick ones to remember. We have a detailed specification to show you. So what we have here, let's explain this little dial here a little bit more. Okay, so this dial here, on 0, it will draw 6 amps. Right up to, if we go to 6, it will draw 32 amps. So if I want to draw 20 amps, I'll just be on position 4. Okay, so it's a little arrow, little screwdriver, click, 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 all the way through. Okay, now the reason we have that on there is in some areas they're going to control your load, or to put it on, you might not have a tariff available, or you don't want to go on to a timed tariff or something like that. Well, then you've got the option of bringing it back to 20 amps. Now, what does that do to your actual output into your car? Sure enough, it brings it down from 7 kilowatts down to that 5 kilowatts thereabouts. All right, so you have to remember that. It's going to bring it down to somewhere between 4.8 and 5 kilowatts. All right, so yes, it's going to slow your charger down and it's going to do all of that. But if you do it at the right time of night, or during the day when your solar's producing, it's not going to be such an impact, and that little bit of extra time will get swallowed up in the savings you're making on your solar. All right, so you can always configure that as you're going through. Now, I won't go through all the status indicators, but we have status indicators on here. But all of this information is actually in the box or on the website, so it's readily available information. Now, we also give you a fault message indicator, and each flash or group of flashes all means something different, and they're all things that can be addressed. Okay, so don't forget to always look at your fault message indicator. Now, what makes this special is to start charging, I just plug it into the car, and all being well, it will start. To stop charging, I basically just remove it from the car. Okay, it's a nice simple. This one doesn't have any RFID cards. It's not start and stop from the app. It's not anything like that. It's just a simple, practical EV charger, 7 kilowatt EV charger, with the benefits of having the RDCDD built into it and being adjustable by the pot, and a nice compact size. All right. Now, warranty registration on these is really important, because we offer, as SEVR, we offer you a 3-year on-site warranty. We need you to register the device at the date of installation. So you as the contractor or the consumer have to register the device on the day of installation. So then we know what that tells us is from 3 years from that date, we've got your back. So SEVR is one of the only companies that offers this 3-year on-site warranty, and it's a massive sales tool. We also offer a long product warranty. So it's 3 years product warranty and 3 years on-site warranty. All right, and it's backed Australia-wide by a group of contractors which are trained and knowledgeable on these products. Okay, so when we look at SEVR, we've got 7 kilowatts, 7.4. We have an app, yes. We have on-site warranty, 3 years, and we have a 3-year product warranty. Okay, so it's definitely up there, and it's backed by a company who believes in their products.